choices designs have done in terms of simplicity and delivery and all of that. And then I enjoyed doing this design in as much as it was a rushed design. It was like an overnight design. I needed to do it Saturday night before Sunday, so most of the things were rushed and all of that. I could see some things I would have loved to correct and all of that, but that notwithstanding, um, it's still um, something I am proud of, right? And yes, so yes, excuse me there. If you're actually seeing that on the screen, it's actually I use OBS to actually record my screen and also to give you guys better understanding of all I'm doing here. So, and basically these are the two major variations of the whole flyer. Yeah. So I'm leaving you guys with um, both variations. All right, and also the screen. I did this for screen, so this is actually what goes up on our screen. So I want to announce in church. All right, so this is like the third variation. Right? So I'll try as much as possible to explain them. And it's actually nothing big here. It's actually nothing big. These are the layers here for both of them. It's actually nothing big, but just little arrangements here and there and all get. So I'll start with the background. Alright, I will start with the background the way I normally do. So I get to turn off all of this, and I'll be explaining it layer by layer. But as I've always told you guys, the way I design my stuff is basically I can start from anywhere to actually start designing. Right, start from pictures. I can start from the background. I can start from the various elements I want to put into it and all of that. So depending on however I move. All right. So now the first I have, or the first this thing I have is obviously a white background. That's the default Photoshop opens up with. Then I have this shape. All right, and I downloaded this particular swell background of freepik.com. I just typed in swell background, or you can there's this what do you call it? The effect you can use to actually get that is where's that stuff here? Oh, I think it's under distort. Yes, 12. All right. So if you have like a straight line um, or a line background, all right, you can use this 12 to actually not wave. Don't go to the wave. Cancel. So distort, then 12. So sorry about that, guys. I'd have to shut down this stuff because there's this thing that happens when my system tries to open up what do you call it? Open up um, smart objects, right? It just freezes. I don't know. It just freezes for reasons known to it. Right? So yeah, it just freezes like that, and I get to restart the project. So, but it's always good to convert to smart objects, yeah. But for reasons best known to my system, I can't seem to do that. So I'll wait for it to actually open. Alright, so I'm actually doing all of this so you guys actually see that we also go through some of all these glitches and all these challenges too, even as designers that at least have gotten to somewhere. Let me not say big designers because I'm not a big designer. Alright, so at least for us that God has carried us somewhere, do you understand? We also face some of all these challenges too with our systems and our softwares, and all of that, with all these glitches and the rest. So don't actually feel alone. Some of all these things happen even when we are designing. It's very, very crazy. It's extremely crazy. You understand? But we eventually get to walk through and walk past it eventually, right? So these are a couple of. I'll be releasing this particular design tomorrow, right? So um, just continue from where we stopped. Let me open up where it is. This is Extol. Should be this. So yes, size actually 3 point something gig. So um, you guys might actually wait a while to get it, right? But you guys will definitely get it. So I'll wait for it to open. Um, let me give you a form of vote of thanks. Say thank you for your time. For those who actually give their time to actually learn and ask questions and all of that. I really appreciate you guys, and yeah, it was a fun ride. It was a fun ride with you guys, and I know, I've done my part basically. Like, I've done my part, and it's just left for you guys to actually say, okay, oh, it's time for me to level up and all of that. I've had over 30 persons go through my mentorship class in the past, say 3 months or 4 months. Okay, yeah, 3 months. Yeah, I've had over 30, 40 persons go through this class, and I tell them this one thing. I tell them there is there's no master that will teach you guys or that will teach anybody. If the person being taught is not ready to actually learn, then and put to practice what is being taught, then it's going to be a very, very fertile journey. So, same thing I'm telling you guys today. As much as I've shared my PhDs, done videos, and all of that, answered questions as much as I can. If you don't want to practice, first of all, I will not force you to practice. Nobody will force you to practice. Nobody at all would make you practice. So that's basically it. So if you don't want to practice, fine. If you want to practice, fine. You understand? I've done my part. I've done my part. Even though I was a little bit disappointed that most of you didn't actually do the assignments I gave and all of that. Well, all I'll say is that um, I think I would not be partial if I don't give everybody access to the main stuff, like where I get to move you guys to the the uh, the bigger family where I have other mentees there, right? And I would basically not do that for everybody. So I'll just add a select few to that platform. Select few, I'll just add them to that platform, and that will be all. Basically, add people who were actually very, very participatory and all of that. And for the rest of you, it would be bye bye till God knows when, right? So then you definitely not blame me, because I felt really offended that I would give my time to teach, make videos, all of that. Actually, even had to suspend my YouTube because of you guys, you know, because I really needed to actually pay more attention and all of that. So I don't think I would do that, and yet at the same time, um, you guys want to do assignments and all of that. I'm actually not talking from a pain point, but I'm just talking from a point of what should be done. So I feel it would be unfair to the persons who actually give out their time energy and everything to actually um, um, get to this point and get this knowledge and follow me on the ride and do as I instruct. So it will be really unfair to them to actually give everybody that access. So I'll be giving it to only those select persons, and then for the rest of you, it is hula hula. We see ourselves on Insta, all of that, YouTube, all that. So yes, we'll now go straight into the video for today. So I um, basically have this and then this, right? So these are the two major things we'll be looking at for today, right? So right. So these are basically two major stuff. Then we now have the screen. I've talked about that at the beginning. So I'll just really rush through and give you guys a full breakdown of whatever is going on here. So for this design, the first thing I have on the white background is the shape. Alright, and I said this shape is just a 12 background I got. Just type out 12, TWIRL background just type it out on free pick. You get this background. Alright, so that's that about this background. Or this first thing here, the opacity is at 7%. Alright, and I've told you guys basically my backgrounds are basically a matchup of so many things, not just one particular thing. Yeah, so that's that. It's at 7% and the field is at 64%. Right, once you get the PSD file, you actually see what I'm saying, I'm talking about. Then I added some shapes. Right, so this is under background too. Yeah, this is under background. Alright, this another background. Just added this too, and they are both at 100%. Alright, but they are maxed. The one on the right here, I cleaned off because I didn't want to. This is what um, um, it looks like on the side. Right? So I didn't want these edges to show. Right, so I maxed over and cleaned. All right. Um, then the next thing I have is this particular um, background. Right. So this is actually okay. Let me see whether I can open this up to actually show you guys the composition, because it's a composition of like 2 or 3 other pictures. Alright, so this is what you have. This is what you have. So I have color lookup over this is actually the normal color of the whole stuff. This picture I got it off pixels.com. Alright, it's just a concert. Just type musical concert then to bring up this particular picture. So I didn't want this blue color because blue was not what I was going for. So I overlaid, or I maxed a solid fill, a yellow solid fill over this picture, and the blend mode is vivid light. Alright, so over this I added color lookup. Alright, although the color lookup is not really playing any major role, alright, in the whole stuff. So let me just delete it. Alright, so I have that there. That is the combo for that particular stuff. So is that simple. Right, my system is going to solve a little bit because the project is actually heavy. Right, so that will take a while. Alright, so there you have that. Then alright, so that's that about that. Alright, so the next thing I have is this layer I titled black and right? So how did I get across with this layer? So this layer is basically a mixture of what do you call it, clouds, right? I love using clouds in my designs, right? So this is what it looks like in context. This is what it looks like. So I downloaded the clouds of pngwings.com. Right, so this is what I have here. So let me go over all of this. So um, this actually here is a rectangle. Right, it's a rectangle that is here. All right, is there a rectangle or what do you call it? A white stuff I just painted. Like I use my brush, make sure the color is white, then just brushed over. That or is a white rectangle, any of the two, anywho. So these are the clouds. You can download them off PNG Wings. Just type in clouds. Then you have this particular white stuff over it. Right. Then these clouds had some black stuffs on them, so I decided to take away the black stuff. So I added the curves adjustment layer. Alright, this is the color adjustment layer. So this color adjustment layer, I took my brightness up, then right, so off, on, right, so you have that there. Then you have, I now applied white and black. Alright, so basically the white and black is not really doing anything much, but I just applied it there. Excuse me. So I have that for the cloud. So let me actually let me name this. So next thing I have is the Extol emblem. That's this emblem itself. So this emblem is actually a combination of two um, two fonts. All right, there is this Wonder Double font and there is this Extol font itself. So this Extol 3D text is actually a 3D text I got off um, free pick. So if you go to free pick and type in 3D text effects, all right, and narrow it down to PSDs or free PSDs, you actually find this text effect there. I would actually send the link to, I'll actually drop the download link for that. All right, so I did the branding, the name branding with Illustrator. All right, the E, if you notice the X on the top has it coming in and all of that. The T down, the leg on the T, sorry, get out. The leg on the T or the base of the T is actually wider to this side and wider to this side. Then the E is actually protruding here and there is space for this one that double. So I did all of this on Illustrator. Alright, so that's not something I would explain today. So I did all of that on Illustrator. But you can download the text effects and just use the text like that, the way it is, and it will still come out nice. But I actually wanted to add one or two beautiful things to it. Right? That's why it's like this. So I doubled it, alright, because I duplicated it because I wanted to put it up here. So now what do I have here? I marked over it too, so I'll read out this lower part. So now the blend mode for it is hard light, alright, and the opacity is at 75%, alright. And I've told you guys my calibrations on designs are based on my preference, alright. Your preference can be different, alright, but I try to make sure that there's this homogeneity in my design so that one thing is actually not overshadowing the other thing, but it is there and it is not there at the same time. It's not taking up so much attention. Do you understand? But it's just in a mix of its own. Do you understand? It's just like when you're cooking food. There's salt inside the food, there's maggi inside the food, there's pepper inside the food, but you don't really want to make one of those spices so pronounced over the other. You want to make it adequate in its right proportion. Do you understand? So there has to be a sweet spot, and that sweet spot is highly determined by you. All right. So that's that about that. Then you now have the pictures itself. All right. So basically, I've explained how I used to edit pictures. If you don't know how I used to edit pictures, go up on my YouTube they would actually see how I edit pictures there with my camera raw. So it's the same application I put up on all of these pictures. All right, I put them all up on all of these pictures, then I group them together. And I've always said it before, if you have a group of pictures to edit, all right, make sure when you take them to camera raw to edit, all right, that's after, make sure the pictures are high res. Basically, that's the first thing. Make sure the pictures are high resolution pictures. When I mean high resolution pictures, studio pictures, try as much as possible to tell your people, whoever sending pictures, send me high resolution pictures. Alright, because if you don't send high resolution pictures, when you're editing it via camera raw, you'll be destroying those pictures, especially if those pictures are WhatsApp pictures. You will cry. You understand? So um, that's that. Then when you take it to camera raw, make sure you reduce the saturation. You don't reduce the saturation to black and white. Reduce the saturation to a point where you can actually not see the original, like, not that you cannot see the original color grading, but the color grading is faded. Why am I saying that? Is because when you now have all these pictures summed up together, you might you would need to add some sort of gradient map over all of the pictures grouped together, so that you are color grading all of them all at the same time, so that all of them have the same color texture, the same color look. Now if you look at these pictures now, all right, although they've lost a bit of quality because I was trying to squash down the design to this size, if you notice, this is the group of the pictures. Right, let me turn off all of this off. So now these are the pictures. You see they look a little bit desaturated. They have different color grades. Right, they have different color grades and different. If you notice on some pictures, I have more vibrance on some of the pictures and all of that. All right, so these are the different color grades they have, but I needed to get them all desaturated to some point. All right, this guy's jacket was greener than this. GFC's jacket was greener than this. All right, so but I had to get all of them uniformly color graded. All right, so I applied this gradient map over all of these um, pictures. Right, so this is the gradient map. So now you see without gradient map, with gradient map. So now you see that they all have the same color grid on all of them, across all of them. All right, so now what is this gradient map? This gradient map is just, this is basically what I use for my skin tones. All right, if I want to do designs with brown skin tones and all of that, so I just, here I have my very dark brown for my shadows, then I have this map brown on the midtones, then I have somewhat white on the highlights. Right, that's basically what color grading is all about: midtones, shadows, highlights. So next thing I applied is the color lookup. I applied color lookup over it. All right, then over the color lookup I applied my hue and saturation. That's basically how I got all of this. So my color lookup, two strip look, then hue and saturation, I adjusted the fader to actually give me something I like. That's how I got that right on these pictures. All right, so that's how they are here like this. So the next thing, I started adding the text, that's their names and all of that. So it's very, very straightforward. The text I'm using here is Downy. Right, that's basically the text I'm using. So the next thing I have is this symbols. All right, these symbols, I downloaded them off FreePic. So once you go to FreePic or PNG wings, just type in musical symbols. All right, you'll definitely get something like this. So I got those symbols. I think I applied one or two things over it to actually give me this color. I think I applied hue and saturation over them to actually give me this particular stuff. Yes, then I blurred this a little bit. Right, so this is what it looks like. Then I have another copy of that here. Alright, so I applied hue and saturation. This is the main color of what I got, but I needed something richer in that yellow color. So these are my calibrations I have here. Alright, so that's that. Back to this. And next thing I have, I started okay, this is a layer. I don't know what this layer is actually doing here. So then the next thing I have, okay, I duplicated this particular stuff. on top here. That's what you have as layer 8. Alright, so then layer 10 is actually a form of lighting I added there. So I just took my brush, alright, picked this yellow color, then brushed over here, then the blend mode is screen. I'm using screen as the blend mode because screen will give me that light I will need. Then I have layer 12 to be also a form of light. If you notice on this Extol, itself, there's light. System will start to do rubbish. So if you notice on this Extol, there's this light. So that's what you have there. Then I have my church logo up there. Then I have the remaining text, all of this. So if you notice, all of these texts are aligned. They are at the center. Alright, that's the alignment I'm using. I'm using center alignment. Alright, so I've taught you guys how to do this displacement effect on this what do you call it, on this rectangle. Right, click on the rectangle, then go to displacement, go to filter gallery, go to displace, and all of that. Then the text I use throughout here is down is the only text I use throughout from A to Z on all of this, A to Z down. Right, then the next thing I added, so it's just that the arrangement is nice. Alright, so next thing I added is it's this overall stuff I used to like adding. Alright, that's my noise. Right, so that's that about that. So this second design is just the same thing, but the only thing that is changing here is the fact that this picture I have here, that's this background I have here. All right, I just what do you call it, I just duplicated it, then rotated it. All right, this is what you have here for this particular one. All right, let's take a while to open. So yeah, this is what I have. So this same background, all right, I just rotated this one this way, rotated this one this way to give me something different. All right, so it's just the same background but the rotation. All right, then I maxed, then cleaned, I grouped them, then maxed, then cleaned to get out the unnecessary parts that I didn't need. So that's how I got this looking different from this. Right, it's just the same thing. So it's just how is your creativity working. Then I rearranged the pictures. All right, these two persons are my lead pastors. Then GUC was the headliner of the whole gig and all of that. Then I had this 4 of them arranged on that. So it's just, basic needs arrangement. All other things remain constant. Then the name placement is what I just changed. All right, so I told you guys you can also add contrast in typeface. All right, if you notice, this is Choma bold, this Rufus regular, NWC bold, Rufus regular, Minister bold, GUC regular. Do you understand? That's basically contrast in typeface or contrast in text. Do you understand? So that's another key thing to also get from this and all of that. So that's practically all about the Extol design. It's really nothing complex, but just how creative can you get as a human being. So I think that's that with that. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you guys in the next one. Peace.